right, so get this. The EU just dropped this thing called the AI Act. AI, artificial intelligence, it's like they're writing the rule book for the future. And trust
Yeah.
me, this is one deep dive you don't want to miss.
Yeah, no kidding. This isn't just some techie policy snooze fest. This is about how we want to live with AI, like how it impacts our lives, all of our lives.
And the cool thing is we've got two pretty awesome sources to break it all down. First, we've got like this super clear overview straight from the European Commission, so you know it's legit. Think of it like the AI Act's greatest hits.
And then we've got, well, let's just say it's a bit more in-depth, for the legal eagles who want all the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, because the details matter, right? But don't worry, we're going to make sure you get the gist, even if you're not a lawyer.
Exactly. So, what's the mission here? Why are we spending our time? And more importantly, why should you listen?
Okay, so the EU, they're not messing around. They're not just trying to regulate AI. They want to be the world leaders in something they're calling trustworthy AI.
Which is huge. It's like, yeah, we want innovation.
Yeah.
We want the cool tech, but not at any cost. It's got to be responsible. It's got to be ethical. That's the whole trustworthy part.
So they're like setting the bar really, really high.
For everyone. And that's the point, right? The
Well-
EU is kind of saying, hey, world, look at us. This is how it's done. It's a bold move, for sure, considering AI is evolving at the speed of light.
Trying to nail down rules for something that changes so fast. It's like trying to hit a moving target, blindfolded.
And that's exactly why what the EU is doing is so important. They're trying to stay ahead of the game to anticipate the curveballs before they even leave the pitcher's hand. So how are they tackling all this? Well, they've come up with this system, and this is actually pretty clever if you ask me. It's like a traffic light system for AI.
Oh, yeah, right. Green means go, yellow means slow down, red means stop, right?
Kind of. So green light AI, that's your low-risk stuff, things we use every day and probably don't even realize it's AI.
Okay, so give me an example. What's something that's considered green light AI?
Well, when you're listening to music, and it seems to know exactly what song you want to hear next.
Yeah, like my playlist just gets me.
That's AI. Or those spam filters that keep all the junk out of your inbox. Green light AI. It's everywhere.
Huh, so it's not always some super complicated thing.
Right. It's about identifying the risk. And with Greenlight AI, the risks are pretty minimal. So the AI Act is like, yeah, keep doing your thing.
Makes sense. So what about the yellow light?
All right, so yellow light, this is where it gets a bit more nuanced. We're talking about AI that interacts with us more directly. Think about chatbots.
Oh, yeah. Those things are getting good. Sometimes I can't even tell if I'm talking to a real person or not. It's a little freaky.
Exactly. And that's why the AI Act puts a lot of emphasis on transparency when it comes to yellow light AI. They're basically saying, hey, if you're going to use AI to interact with people, you got to be upfront about it.
So no more chatbots pretending to be my new best friend.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Transparency is key. Now, when we get to the red light, that's where the act really gets serious.
Red light, high risk, those are the big ones, right?
Harry? Right. High-risk AI. This is where the potential for things to go wrong is much higher. We're talking about AI that's being used in really sensitive areas like healthcare, finance, even law enforcement.
So like AI that could have a huge impact on your life.
Exactly. And that's why the Act lays down some really strict rules for high-risk AI. It's not just about telling developers to be careful. It's about setting very specific standards for how these systems are designed, developed, and used.
So it's not enough to just say, hey, be careful with that AI. It's like they have a whole rule book for how to build it and use it responsibly.
Exactly. And this is where all those detailed legal documents come into play. They outline exactly what companies have to do to make sure their high-risk AI is safe and ethical. We're talking about things like risk assessments, data quality controls, human oversight.
Oh, wow. They really are trying to cover all their bases, huh?
They are. It's
Yeah.
really quite impressive. And it's important to remember, this isn't just about protecting people in the EU. These rules could end up having a ripple effect around the world.
That's a good point. We're all connected, so what happens in one part of the world with AI can definitely impact everyone else. Okay, so we've covered the green light, the yellow light, the red light. But there's this whole other category in the AI Act that's, well, kind of blowing my mind.
You mean general purpose AI? Yeah, that's a whole other ballgame. GPAI for short.
GPAI, right. It sounds like something out of like a sci-fi movie. So what is it exactly?
Think of it this way. Most AI we have now is good at one thing, right? A chess AI can beat you at chess, but it can't, write you a poem.
Right.
GPI is They can do it all. It
No.
can learn and adapt to all sorts of different tasks, even ones it wasn't specifically programmed for.
Whoa, that's kind of scary, but also really cool.
Exactly. It's powerful stuff. And that's why the AI Act has a whole section just on GPAI.
So even though it's still early days for this GPAI, the EU is already trying to get ahead of it.
Yep. They know this is a game changer,
Mm.
and they want to make sure it's used responsibly. And one of the big concerns is just how powerful these GPAI models are becoming. Like there's this thing called FLOPS.
FLOPS.
Yeah, it stands for floating point operations per second. It's a way to measure how fast a computer can, like, think.
Okay.
So some of these GPAI models are predicted to have more FLOPS than all the computers on Earth combined.
Seriously, that's insane.
It is, and it's only going to get more powerful. So the Act says if you're developing this crazy powerful GPAI, you've got to do a serious risk assessment, like really think through what could go wrong.
And make sure you've got a plan to deal with it.
Exactly. And you have to be totally transparent about how your GPAI works, what data you use to train it, all of it.
So no more black boxes.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole issue of systemic risk.
Okay, now you're just using big words to sound smart. What's systemic risk?
It's like, imagine a GPAI that's used in everything. Finance, healthcare, transportation.
Everything.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong with that GPAI, it could have a domino effect across all those different areas.
That's a scary thought.
Right, so the AI Act is trying to, anticipate those risks and put safeguards in place. They've even created this new AI office to specifically oversee the whole thing.
So like the AI police.
Kinda. But more like referees,
Yeah.
making sure everyone's playing by the rules. And that's what makes this whole conversation so important. We're not just talking about regulating some niche technology here. We're talking about the future of, well, everything.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. The future is now. But seriously, it's a lot to take in. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, don't worry, you're not alone.
It's a lot to process for sure.
This AI Act, it's complex, it's ambitious, and it's definitely going to have a huge impact on all our lives. But that's kind of the point of this deep dive, right? To give you the information you need to understand this brave new world we're stepping into.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
Right. Right. And as AI gets more sophisticated, more powerful, the questions of how we regulate it, how we control it, they're only going to get more important. So what do you think? Will this AI Act actually work? Will it be enough? Or is it just the tip of the iceberg?
That's a really good question, and honestly, I don't think anyone has all the answers yet. But what I do know is that the conversation has started, and that's a big deal. Now it's up to all of us to stay informed, stay engaged, and help shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone. Because one thing's for sure, AI is here to stay, and it's only going to get more integrated into our lives. So buckle up, because the ride's just beginning.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. If an AI could make a life-altering decision about you, would you trust it, even if it followed all the rules? Something to think about. Until next time.